Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
All right.
It's like usually when you spend time with yourself, you kind of invent products, you invent ways, things that you think are genius, brilliant, whether it's a business idea or a product. You're like, oh, I can't believe this hasn't been invented yet.
Yeah, yes.
And then you research it, and it's there. It's been there for 20 years,
forever.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think I invented something. My daughter and I did, like a concept. So I don't know if this is something that you guys do.
You invented a concept?
Yeah, I think so. Or
That sounds real scientific.
well, yeah, we'll give it a second. It's not. So, and I don't know even what to call it. I don't know what to call it. You guys can help me.
I'm as excited as yesterday when you said I feel really blessed.
Yeah, are you okay?
Yes. I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
You
makes me
realize
happy.
how much more how he values words.
Yeah,
right?
yes,
right?
yes.
So
I usually
he has
come
a
in with a
concept.
I do.
After
Yes.
being blessed.
Yes.
I usually come in hot and then it fizzles out.
Okay.
On things. So, and here's what it is. It's like you're in your car, you're driving to whatever destination you are, and trying to time out, or maybe you're not trying to time it out, but it just happens that you arrive at your destination and go to shut your car off as soon as your song ends. Like it's like a movie scene, you know, like
Yeah.
in Rocky when he's fighting, and then it wraps up and it turns into the driveway and the last drum, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
just-
kind of like
it gives me goosies.
your musical score.
100%. It's the musical score for my trip, whatever it was. Yesterday I was driving home and Sophia was
The
playing our.
soundtrack of his life.
It was weird and funny. It was a High School Musical song that she was playing, and it came right to the end when Zac Efron slaps the water on, at the golf course, slaps the water,
I don't
and
know.
then
I don't know.
Well, yeah.
So I do know what you're talking about. I was in for the first High School Musical,
Yeah.
and then the second and third was out on.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Olivia Rodrigo fan, and
Right.
she's the star
Okay.
of the series. It's now like back on Disney+.
Yes, and my
she's-
daughter's watching that too.
Okay.
Yeah, so we get right to the end where it's and then hands up in the air, on the golf course, and right when we pulled in the garage, shut the car off. No more music. It was just like it was
Whoa.
perfect.
Oh
It gave
my
me
God.
goosebumps.
That reminds me of that's such a radio concept, because always when you were doing what they called, when you hit the post, as they would say, you're talking. Not morning shows, but the rest of the day, the jocks that were on during the day, they would be doing whatever announcement that they had to make, but they had to do it in a very limited amount of time. You were supposed to stop down the music. So it's basically, as one song ended, you'd blah, 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 and station ID, and don't forget the great blah, blah coming up tonight at 7:00 on blah, blah, blah. And right when you say that, you hit the post, and meaning the post is right when somebody starts singing the next song. So they have the ramp right up to where they start singing. And usually when that would happen, then they would hit the post and they would slam down.
They get super excited.
Right.
Like, yeah.
And like a slider pots, or you had either dials or you had the sliders. And you've probably seen pictures of them if you haven't been in a radio station, you've probably seen pictures of the board, so to speak. So it was either much more satisfying with the slider pots, because you'd slam it down and hit the off button. Yes.
Only the Tools did that.
And nobody else saw you.
Right.
Because just you.
Just you.
All by yourself, standing in the room.
So I have a conspiracy theory for radio stations.
Oh, good.
Do they really turn up the speed of the music so
They
they
do.
can play
They
more?
do.
By how much?
Not much.
Okay.
I watched a guy do it once back when before there were CDs, and you'd have to put it on like a thing called a cart, and you put on there, and it was pitched up like 2%, just like little. But he's like, and I'm like, what are you doing? He told me the whole theory is so when they hear it on your station, it sounds faster and more energetic and slower on other stations, so it makes people gravitate to your station more.
Subconsciously. It's supposed to be subliminal.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I never thought, but it's brilliant.
It is.
Yeah, interesting. So it's not even a conspiracy theory. It's like
No,
actually
it's
happening.
It's
legit.
It actually is a practice.
Yeah, kind of like the putting the whatever
And it wasn't
the tracking system
necessarily-
in the vaccines. Like that's really happening,
Right?
Just like that.
There you go, just like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not to play more music. It's to make the music sound better subliminally. It's like, ooh, this is like really get you going kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I have an adverse effect to it, because if it's my favorite song, I want to play it like how the artist made it and not how the radio guy.
But then think about it, like
But
if
you really don't even notice it.
you don't notice it until you hear it slower. So when you hear another station, like, God, this song sounds
It doesn't sound
odd.
right.
It doesn't sound right. It's all subliminal.
Yeah. It's just meant to jack with the other guy.
It's like when movies used to put one frame of a hot dog or something during the movie. You wouldn't actually see it, but your brain would process it. You'd get hungry.
Is that true?
You want a hot dog. That is true.
That
That used to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's outlawed now.
It's outlawed.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Because that was the movie theaters doing
outlawed.
that. It wasn't the
Interesting.
movies didn't do it. The movie theaters. did
Yeah,
it.
the movie theaters would splice in one square of a hot dog and then
Just like subliminal advertising.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen what was the oh God, the TV show Rod Sterling.
I don't remember.
He was the guy standing there in the black suit and smoking a cigarette, and it was had The Twilight Zone.
Oh, okay.
For God's sake. The Twilight Zone, there's one that's in there about the subliminal advertising and that it's going on around you all the time. And yeah, it just kind of, and that was in the 50s.
Yeah,
That was in the
genius.
50s when that was made, 50s, 60s when those shows were made, those TV shows.
For a modern day example, it's kind of like influencers not like getting paid to promote a product but not mentioning it in the caption.
Yeah.
It's like the exact same thing almost.
It really, if people, because I guess, making them write, hashtag ad or saying that it's sponsored.
Yeah.
I understand, I guess, what the government's trying to do, because that was a government regulation to do that, because, of course, the dumb public doesn't know any better, right? Because you don't realize product placement.
Right.
Like in the movies.
Yeah.
If you see
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola sitting on the table, or they're always drinking a Starbucks, or they're, whatever the brand is that you see, that's not an accident.
Yeah.
That was paid for.
Yes.
And that's why the products are in the movie. So then you see others where they're in, they got red Solo cups, or they've got, or whatever, styrofoam cups, so you can't see what it is. That's not an accident either.
No bad guy can ever use an Apple iPhone in a movie.
Is that true?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
it's
that.
like Apple's like guidelines.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I like it when they're like the baker's ads, the
Yeah.
low,
Yes.
that one. The phones that those clowns are using in that are have pineapples on the back of them. I thought it was funny. I like it when somebody takes a brand and does it. Well,
How many times have you seen this commercial?
It's just, I love it. I love the dude. I love the dude going low in his Crocs, holding his pineapple phone.
low
It's awesome.
pineapple. That's interesting. Yeah, I bet there are probably plenty of products that are out there that say, no, you can't use our product for this. And I don't know, I guess phones would be one that you don't think about when they're using them, because you can't really see what they're using. But I guess an Apple does look different than all other phones.
And you
Every
have
other phone is
like
kind
the
of
logo
hard.
on the back.
If you have the logo, if you have the a case that shows the logo, like some people do.
And I think a lot of times,
got an Apple.
like when they show the text messages in the blue, I think sometimes like the interface, you can be like, oh, they're for sure an Apple.
Can I just say, I hate movies that do that. That
Really?
show the text messages. Because if you're listening to the movie and you're doing other things, you're watching or whatever, you're just like laying on the couch, you have to sit up and look and try and and they don't just under their breath say it out loud. You know what I mean?
God, you mean you have to actually sit up?
You have to look. You have to look at the
That
screen.
is unbelievable.
You have to look at the screen to read it.
Oh my God!
Because all of a
Thoughts and
sudden
prayers.
you hear bleep, and it's like, oh God, it's a text message. So I gotta whatever I'm doing in the kitchen, I gotta stop and go back out and look at the TV so I can see what the text message is, so I can follow the plot of this stupid movie, because I want to understand whatever bullshit was said in the text.
And also speaking of just random TV shows and movies, that like in Hollywood or TV shows, whatever, people never say goodbye on the phone; they just hang up.
I hate that.
And I'm thinking, I was watching The Sopranos, I think, the other day, and it was like Carmela and Tony were going back and forth about something, and he just ended the conversation and hung up. I'm like, my wife would be pissed if I did that. Like, so pissed. Like, why don't people just say goodbye?
Okay, bye.
Because it's so you.
And you don't even have to have the return bye.
No, just say bye, see ya.
You just say goodbye and continue with that character wherever they're going.
Right, whatever.
Okay, bye.
Just say see ya. You don't have to. But it's so click the shut off. It's like, wow, that was so rude.
That was still flip phone days, right?
Yeah. Well, then they had burner ones because they killed people.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took away all the fun of hanging up on people, though.
Yeah.
With cell phones, because you don't get that satisfaction of hanging up the phone or the click with the.
So now you guys, when you're driving, when you're listening to music, you're gonna consciously think of that your soundtrack of your ride if it ends right when you pull in your garage.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
you will.
I really doubt they're gonna think that.
Do you have a song? Do you have a song that would work for like if they made a movie about your life? This would be like and then the next decade, and then like a whole bunch of time passed of like happiness of what do they call it? Like a montage.
Yeah, montage.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mine would be Every Day by Buddy Holly.
Okay.
Oh,
that's a good
really?
one.
Yeah,
that's a nice one.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I haven't really thought about that.
I haven't either.
Really?
I
That's
obviously have put some
interesting.
thought into
Yeah,
it. and
I
have
guess.
an answer.
You
And
like
then-
had it right in your holster.
Like,
Yeah,
right?
yes,
no
yes.
kidding.
I'll have to think about that. So
okay.
it's a song that plays during like the recap of a decade.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
All right, I'll have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll think about that. Like
Okay.
on Monday, we'll
Future one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question for today. So
Yes.
my roommate, his company or like I guess department, they are doing a beer mile. Are you familiar with a beer mile? So you're supposed to drink 4 beers throughout the course of a mile, and
Okay.
you time yourself. And they are having a race, and like someone's gonna win, and then you get a prize.
Really?
But how?
So you're racing a mile,
yeah. So
but you have to drink a beer at or 4
4 beers.
beers in that mile.
Each person is it
Each
like a
person.
relay race or each person has
Each
to drink
person.
4
Each
miles?
person.
So you
Wow.
drank 4 beers going 1 mile. What's the target time? What are most people hitting?
So that's the question. Like, how quickly do you think you could do it?
Oh, heck. Let's see. I can walk a mile in about 15, 20 minutes
And
to walk
And
a
if you
mile.
know you're being timed, you can probably step it up a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, yeah, if you're, and that's kind of stepping up. 4 miles an hour is a pretty good clip. So 15, 20 minutes to walk a mile. But if you were trying to get there, drink 4 beers in 15 minutes, 4 beers,
Oh, I think that's easy.
4 beers in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I
4
can-
beers in
I can-
15 minutes.
4 and 10. So
Yeah.
that'd be 2.5 minutes a piece.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the beer
drink the
consumption. It'd be the
beers.
actual walking of the mile
Well,
in
yeah,
10 minutes.
you got to catch your breath before you drink the next beer.
Well.
Either that or drink all 4 and then run. I'm thinking that's,
Ooh, that's
what you do.
That's actually a good idea.
I think that's what because he's a runner, and I think his strategy was a quarter mile, drink
Nah.
a beer, a quarter mile.
I think
a
I'd drink
beer.
all 4 and run.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
'Cause then
just
you won't know any
Ralph.
better.
But then you're
Just
gonna
totally
Ralph. Yeah.
cute. But if everybody else, if you can run, if he runs a 7-minute mile, if he's a runner
Yeah.
or whatever, and then you take 2 minutes to drink those 4 beers, because you can chug beers pretty quick. Take a beat for 30 seconds and then run.
And then run.
You're going to
Because
be.
in the 7 minutes, I don't think it'll hit him yet.
Mm-mm.
I think
your
he'll
stomach
still be so.
burping. Oh, you'd be bloated.
Yeah,
You'd be
well,
bloated.
yeah.
Yeah. I
guess
think
it
I would
could
go
be.
the walking route.
Or you
Can
could.
you, does it have to be beer? Or can it be like a Truly?
I think it
Has to be a beer.
That's not
Well, I mean,
even close.
because you get less burpy on Trulies than you do
Yeah.
beer.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
you prefer
All
Truly
day.
over White Claw?
No, either one.
Okay.
When I say Truly and White Claw, it's like that whole,
The whole
genre.
genre?
hard seltzer.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like the whole thing.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Maybe it would. And if he was a runner, he should run it first, and then have the beers.
Ooh.
Because if he's a runner, that 1 mile's not going to kick his butt.
Sure, he could almost sprint it probably,
Yeah.
and then power
Catch
down
up-
those 4 beers.
Catch your breath, power
Yeah.
it down.
That's actually a good idea.
So
Yeah.
the guy on his team who like planned it all, he runs marathons.
Yeah.
So his comment was like, I won't be able to beat him in the running, but the guy doesn't drink very much because he's so devoted to running
Running.
marathons. So
Yeah.
he's like, I think I can beat him on the drinking. So it'll be close.
Interesting.
That's it. When is it? This weekend?
I don't know. Like I got home from work yesterday and all my roommates were talking about it. I was like, this seems like kind of a fun conversation.
Is it?
Yeah.
What do they call it? Are they calling it the 4 beer mile?
the
or?
beer mile, I think. Is
Beer
what they
mile?
call it.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. And it's not like a employee, like it's not.
It's not sanctioned.
Yes, it's not a corporate improve, but they're getting the afternoon off. So I think it must be early next week or whatever.
Oh my God! Well, God bless them for wanting to throw in a mile.
Yeah, yes.
I got roped into doing the market to market run
Oh,
in September or whenever it is.
get out of here! You're going to do that?
I have, and it's with Sasha and Sadie on their team.
Yeah.
And they're like super in shape. And that's, we're starting this little get in shape challenge
Yeah.
around the office, trying to
Yeah.
be not as fat.
Some
my
people
34,
are.
some people are, yes. Again, this is not company sanctioned.
I was going to say.
Yeah, this is just for people whose 34s are getting tight, like mine are. And they're like, oh, it's super fun, the market to market, and you don't have to run the whole thing. You get in a van and run like 2 miles, and then get back in the van, and everyone says it's fun, and you have a party at the end. So I said, yeah,
Oh my God!
be a fun
so you
little
offered to
team.
drive.
I'm the van guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the van guy. They don't know that yet, but yes, I'm the van guy.
And I just learned.
Or you could be the beer bitch.
Oh,
One of the
whatever.
two.
Usually it's one and the same.
Pat and I have the same waist. I'm also 34. So
Really?
Yeah. If I ever need pants in a jam, I'll go
Yeah,
get that.
difference is you're like 6'5".
He's 6'5".
Shorts.
I'm 5'6".
Yeah,
Okay,
shorts in
shorts.
a jam. Yes.
They-
yeah.
Yeah. I always thought that was funny when you're like watching Husker football.
Yes,
and
I
it's
was just
like he's whatever. He's
He's
5'10", 185 or 5'10", 220. I'm like, Well, that's
And he's got this
about
little
the
tiny
same-
waist, and he's
just shredded.
and you're like,
Our
that's
numbers
not
are exactly the same.
I'm not that
Except
tall.
height. Yep, and
Yeah,
not
he
that
just-
ripped.
I got all mine packaged in a smaller
Yeah.
box.
or when the analysts say he's really little at just he's really little at 6 foot 205. Like that's little. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Trust me. Very good question there, Nick.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that to. You didn't even have to fact check anything today.
No. Should
No.
I fact check something just for fun?
No.
Can't think of anything.
okay.
No.
I think
you
we're-
kind of did fact check something about the radio pitching music up. You kind of fact
that's
checked it.
actually-
Oh, I mean, a
we
little
were your
bit.
fact checkers
Yeah,
today.
yes.
What?
Yeah, that's
Stop
scary.
it. That's something. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Insider secrets.
Well, thanks for bringing some goods to the show today, Nick.
Yeah, of
Have
course.
a good weekend, buddy. What are you and
Fantastic.
Emmy doing? Anything?
Emmy's sister is graduating.
Nice.
Okay.
So that, and then someone invited me to go on their podcast on Saturday, so that'll be kind of a fun thing.
Sweet.
Nice.
So that's kind of the 2 weekend plans.
I just realized that
good.
Jack's here, and I haven't heard. He hasn't moved at all.
Yeah,
before. I
Jack
completely
is
forgot he
here.
was here.
Is he
now
being a
just-
good boy?
Just laying there. Now his head's up.
Yeah, he said, and his tail's wagging.
You think we can get some headphones on, Jack, and get a picture for today's episode?
We should.
We'll try.
Okay, you have to. You try, not
We'll
Will,
try.
because if
He's
he
like,
doesn't
wait,
like,
what? He just sat up. He's like, wait, what?
What's going on?
Yeah.
What'd you just talk about?
If Jack and I got in a fight, I think Jack would win.
I don't know. I give you tooth hugs.
Is that what it's called? A tooth hug?
A tooth hug.
It's a tooth hug.
Yeah.
That's his tooth huggers.
Really? Yeah, I don't know. I don't want a tooth hug. Sounds not very fun at all. All right, have a great weekend if you're listening to this on a Friday. If not, still have a great weekend the next weekend you have, I suppose. 402-403-9478. Text us. Thanks for listening.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.